All right, y'all, I got some absolutely giant breaking news here for you. I'm picking up one of the kids at school right now. Unfortunately, I had no other place or time I could make this, but here we are, so we're going to make do with it. But the House just voted 427-1 to release the Epstein files. 427-1. Now, as many people online have pointed out, that one vote, which is Republican Clay Higgins, I believe, from Louisiana, you need to check that dude's hard drive ASAP. Because goddamn, bro, you're going to be the one person to say, you know what, don't release the Epstein files. Don't expose the cabal of pedophile elite billionaires. That's insane. That's insane. Imagine having that on your name for the rest of your life, through the rest of eternity. People know you're the one guy that was like, you know what, let's protect all the elite pedophiles. Just so, it's hard for me to even wrap my mind around that. So, Clay Higgins, super sus. Definitely got to look into his ass. But you might be thinking, well, hold on now. Why was it so overwhelming? Why was it 427-1? Why wasn't it split down party lines, for example? Well, the answer is very simple. You had Trump's advisors come to him the other day, and they said to him, there is no way that this is not going to pass. We're going to have 50 to 100 Republican defectors. So this is going to pass. There's nothing you could say or do to stop it. And so what Trump tried to do at that point was to get ahead of it. And he comes out and says, you know what? I actually want to release the Epstein files. I've always wanted to release the Epstein files. So everybody should vote for the bill that's going to release the Epstein files. So that was his attempt to save face. Obviously, if he says don't vote for it and then a bunch of Republicans vote for it, it sort of puts a big dent in the perception of him being almighty and all-powerful. And so he tries to get ahead of it. 427-1 was the vote. Now, here's the thing, though, that everybody needs to get. And I understand I'm raining on everybody's parade right now. I understand this is going to make a lot of people upset, but I got to tell you the truth. The fact of the matter is this is all a trick. This is all a trick. So here are the potential ways this unfolds from here. So now the bill to release the Epstein files passes the House. Now it goes to the Senate. The Senate leader, majority leader, I should say, John Thune, he could come out and say, we're not going to allow a vote on it. Sorry, it's over. Done. Boom. That's it. Dunzo, like that. So that's possible that he just comes out and says, we're not going to allow a vote on it. Now, it is also very possible, if not likely, that he actually comes out and says, we are going to allow a vote on it. Okay? Because he understands the groundswell of support for releasing the Epstein files and how this is a massive hot button issue. Only 45% of Republican voters like how Trump and Republicans are handling the Epstein files. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on them. So in a scenario where Thune comes out and says, you know what, we are going to allow a vote on this, what happens then? Well, in one scenario, the bill just dies because it gets voted down. That is very possible that that happens. And then it's dead. But in a different scenario, they could vote to pass it also through the Senate. Now, even in that case, I regret to inform you, you're not going to get to see the full unredacted Epstein files. It's not going to happen. And here's why. We already know there was a DOJ whistleblower who came out and said, and James O'Keefe has the literal video of it, they said, look, we're purging all of the stuff about Trump and Republicans from the Epstein files and leaving in the stuff about liberals and Democrats. And so they're cleaning up those files. Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, came out yesterday and said, they're cleaning the files. They're purging all the stuff of Trump and Republicans out of there. So it's very possible the Senate votes to release it, and then you see a very skewed version of the files that removes everything about Trump and Republicans, which is probably a majority of the stuff that's in there, if I'm being honest with you, right? So that could happen, in which case they're just lying to you. They're lying by omission. They're painting a misleading picture as to what was actually going on with Jeffrey Epstein. So that's very possible. But it's also very possible, and Trump laid the groundwork for this the other day, that they vote to release it, right? The Senate votes to release it. He signs the bill to release it, but then they turn around and they go, well, hold on now. We'd love to release it. We called for releasing it. Trump signed the bill to release it, but Trump also just opened a new investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Remember, he announced that the other day? And by law, if there's a new investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, you have to keep those files secret until the investigation has concluded. And you could just keep the investigation open in perpetuity and make it so that Trump goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I supported releasing the Epstein files. I signed the bill to release the Epstein files. They're working on releasing the Epstein files, but then they just never release them. That's the other distinct possibility here. So I hate to be the person who's raining on everybody's parade and bringing the bad news, but Believe me, you are not going to actually be able to see the full unredacted Epstein files. It's simply not going to happen. He's not going to allow it. And the reason he's not going to allow it is the other thing that Mark Epstein said today, or yesterday. This is, again, Jeffrey Epstein's brother. He said, of course Jeffrey Epstein had blackmail. Of course my brother had blackmail on Trump. There's no doubt about that. Not only that, we just saw the Epstein emails. Guess who was the #1 person mentioned in those emails? It was Donald Trump. It was like 1,600 times he was mentioned in about 20,000 emails. This is on top of the stuff we already know about him, that him and Jeffrey Epstein shared a girlfriend. Jeffrey Epstein passed off a 20-year-old to Trump in 1993. Like, you know, they were at Mar-a-Lago together judging a teenage beauty pageant, just the two of them. They're unspeakable crimes. We know he's on video. We know that. In 2011, he was at Epstein's house with one of the victims. And then, meanwhile, Jeffrey Epstein has every room bugged with secret videotapes. So we know there's videotapes somewhere. You know, does the FBI have them? Does the DOJ have them? Are they just in a vault in Tel Aviv that now Netanyahu is using it to blackmail Trump? We know it exists. The question is, where is it? So all of this stuff is so devastating for Trump, and it really exposes that he's blackmailed. He's blackmailed. Like, they can coerce him easy. They can extort him. They can blackmail him. Like, he's not, I mean, he's compromised. He's literally compromised. He cannot and should not be president. This is a completely ridiculous scenario where now, you know, the foreign countries that have all this dirt, they can just get whatever they want from this government, because he would do anything to make it so that that stuff doesn't come out. And so that's why you're never going to see the Epstein files, the full unredacted Epstein files, because he is all over them and everybody knows that. So again, I hate to be the person who rains on everybody's parade, but the fact of the matter is, even if it gets through the Senate and Trump signs it, even in that scenario, they have tricks up their sleeve and they will make sure you never get the full and total truth.